the Shearer Sheringham Euro '96. Was he the best partnership you had, or did you enjoy playing with Al? Because you look like you did from a fan's perspective.
Yeah, loved him.
Yeah,
he was the main man around that era.
Yeah,
there was others like Les Ferdinand, Ian Wright.
Yeah,
that were pushing for that place, but Al was the number one. I think he scored 30 goals in the previous 2 seasons in Premier League football, so you knew that he was going to be the centre forward for Euro '96. It was just about finding a partner for him, and luckily for me, Terry Venables chose me, and it was great. We didn't get into each other's way. He was the main centre forward, which gave me lots of space in behind and linking things up. Gazza nicking balls into me and running beyond. Incy doing the same at times as well. Darren Anderton and Steve McManaman coming off the line and playing into me and joining up. So it was, fantastic players all over the pitch. So great moments. And as you say, Shearer, one of the best, along with a certain Jurgen Klinsmann, weren't bad either at Tottenham for my favourite partnerships.
So how big was that moment in '99, your goal against Newcastle? How important was that?
A thing of beauty, the way I see it. Yeah. The funny thing is, I actually started the game on the bench.
Okay.
And after 7 minutes, I'd scored the first goal in the FA Cup final. Yeah. How mad is that? So Roy Keane had a bad ankle that week. And after about 3 minutes, God rest his soul, Gary Speed smashed him. That went over on his ankle. And he signalled to the bench that he wanted to come off. So I'm sitting behind Fergie, and Fergie says to me, "Ted, get ready, you're going on." And I'm thinking, what, for Keane? Am I going? And I'm thinking, what am I doing? I'm disputing what he's saying. So my boots were still undone. I quickly done my boots up and I'm ready after a minute. So Keane comes off after 6 minutes. Within a minute, I'd scored the first goal of the FA Cup final, and it's like, wow, there's me sitting there thinking, am I going to get a chance in this game? And then after 7 minutes, I've scored the first goal, and it's like, it was a nice little goal as well. Played a little 1-2 with Scalzi, and then slid a ball under the on-rushing keeper to give us the lead in the FA Cup final. It's something that you dream of as a kid. You watch all those FA Cup finals from probably starting from about 72, 73 for me, being 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
75 West Ham won it, being a West Ham supporter, and you just hope and dream that one day that you get a chance to play an FA Cup final, and there I am, and I'm sitting on the bench, and then 2 minutes later I've scored the first goal in the FA Cup final '99. So
man,
that's amazing.
Give us a little insight into the mindset of you being on the bench after 7 minutes. Now you having to come onto the pitch and deliver.
Different thoughts. I wasn't ready to go on in that particular moment, but I was always, I spent a bit of time at the end of my career as a sub. So I would sit there with my boots undone because, like, as you say, you don't want them too tight or whatever. And then at half time, I would put my boots on, my pads on and my shirt and be ready. And people would say, "Oh, you're going on? Have you been told you're going on?" It's like, no, but I just want to be ready just in case, because if you get the call from the manager and say, "I've just got to put my shirt on and sort me," say, "Here go, all right, I'll put someone else on," and you might lose the chance. So that was how I used to do it. But that particular time, he's turned around at me after 6 minutes and said, "You're going on." It shocked me, but couldn't get ready quick enough because of the chance of playing in the FA Cup final, and there it was, and the chance arose for me to score a minute later, and it was like, wow, what a start to my FA Cup final.
How long was the celebrations for afterwards?
The FA Cup, well, he told us not to go out too much, but you know the score down in London, so I would stay down in London, a little night out in Faces around that time.
One little story about Faces. You were there the night I met my wife in Faces.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she turned me down earlier and then she came over to you. I said, Carly, just go across.
Carly, no, he'll take you.
He'll look after you over there, the little fella in the corner.
Brilliant.
Ted, we talked about Brian Clough, Alex Ferguson. When that call came, I mean, what was he like to work with?
Without a doubt, the best.
Yeah.
Well, you only have to look at the trophies that he won to think that he's the best. I mean, my favourite would be Terry Venables as a manager. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot between the two, but, when you look at the trophies that Fergie's won and the stature that he had at Manchester United was just unbelievable. He knew everything about what was going on, not just
Did
in the
he?
football club, in Manchester.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you've heard the stories about Lee Sharp
Yeah.
and Giggsy having nights out.
Yeah.
When I actually got fined a week's wages for playing golf on a Thursday afternoon. Me and Yorkie played golf on a Thursday afternoon in Manchester before a Saturday game.
Yeah.
And thinking we'd got away with it early season, nice summer's day.
Yeah.
So we came in after the Aston Villa game and Fergie says, well played, lads, well played. Walked over to me, we'd beat Villa 2-0. We both played. Walks over to me and he went, well played, Ted. I went, thanks, boss. He went, do you play golf Thursday? And I went, if he's asking me, he knows, right?
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I did. He went, you'll find a week's wages.
No.
Walked over to Yorkie and went, well played, son. Yorkie scored, played well. And he was like, thanks, Gaffer. Big smile on his face. You know what Yorkie's like. So Fergie says to him, well played. Did you play golf on Thursday afternoon? And he sort of looked past Fergie at me like that. And I went, and he went, yeah, I did, boss. And he went, you'll find a week's wages as well. And all the lads went, don't worry, he says that a lot, but he won't find you. He fucking did.
Wow.
a lot of money, a week's wages for a game of golf.
Mate.
Yeah.
You made the point, you said he was the difference between us being a very, very good team and an exceptional team, which is quite the statement about an already brilliant Manchester United team. Why specifically was that?
Well, Gaz has obviously told you about Sir Alex's drive and his mentality of will to win. Keane had that in abundance as well, if not more than Sir Alex. He was Sir Alex's lieutenant on the pitch. Whatever he told us in the dressing room, Roy Keane took it out onto the pitch and demanded it out on the pitch of every Manchester United player that was pulling on the red shirt. He just had that aura about him. He didn't care who he upset. It was the drive to make Manchester United a better team on the pitch. And without a doubt, if, Gaz has mentioned all the best midfielders that we had, but if Roy wasn't playing, we weren't quite the same team. I don't know if Gaz feels the same way about that, but I definitely do. I'll tell you what the unusual thing with Roy is. In every club, in every big club, you've got leaders that demand stuff. He didn't care if you hated him, whereas a lot of leaders want to be loved as well at the same time, and they want to go out and have a laugh. But with Roy, that wasn't the case. At the end of the day, all he wanted to do was win and be the best. And he didn't care who he upset and who didn't talk to him and who wasn't his friend in that manner to get to the top. That's probably what divides him from people like Shearer, maybe, who was a proper leader and demander of top level. Tony Adams, all these players, I think, are all top players and leaders of their clubs and captains. But I think Roy just didn't give a monkey's who he upset along the way to make Man United the best.
Ted, third round memories. Got here written down. A third round tie in your career. Chelsea 3, Man United 5 from 1998. That's incredible scoreline.
Unbelievable fixture.
Yeah.
I remember it as well. Windy, wet day. And we came to Stamford Bridge and absolutely annihilated Chelsea. No, we did. It was 5-0 up. It was 5-0 up.
Really?
We absolutely annihilated them. It was a fantastic day. Just remember playing great. I think I scored one, was involved in 3 of the other goals.
Yeah.
Beckham scored 2, I think. Coley scored 1. I scored 1. I'm not sure who scored the other one, but it was just one of those days that we were just fantastic, hard and ruthless in our manner. And then with about 20 minutes to go, I can remember Graham Lasso chipping Peter Schmeichel. I think Vialli, God rest his soul, again, lovely man. Got them back to 5-2 with about 10 minutes. I mean, the game was done. It was just, it makes it look respectable that it was 5-3. But great memory for me, for especially after all my Tottenham days, losing to Chelsea and all these fixtures, and then playing with Man United at Stamford Bridge and giving them That's good seeing too. Was a good day.
Yeah. Well, we used to call it 3-point lane.
I've heard. Yes, I've heard. What, was that your West Ham days?
No, mate, no.
Yeah,
Not so much there.
Roy Keane wrote, Teddy arrived for training first day at the club in his red Ferrari, every inch the confident Londoner. Is that how you felt as you walked into that dressing room the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, without a doubt, I felt like that. The best manager in the country, or maybe even the world, wants you to sign for this fantastic club. How could you not feel confident about that? If you want to look at it on the other side, you're replacing Eric Cantona. Whoa, big deal. Or let's put pressure on myself. But I'd got into the England squad, kind of replacing Peter Beardsley, fantastic player. I joined Tottenham, replacing Gary Lineker. So all those different moves you make during your career, you can put the pressure on yourself and say, wow, what a player he was. Look who I'm replacing. Am I as good as him? Geez, question mark yourself. Or do you say, Terry Venables has bought me for Tottenham. The England manager's put me in there, and Sir Alex wants me to play for his great club. Let's take the positives out of this. Let's go out there and enjoy what you've done for the last. By the time I joined Man United, for the last 25 years of my life was playing football, practicing, making sure that I could play the right pass, shoot the right shot at the right time. Let's go and do it on the biggest stage of all.
And how
it's the first time we'd ever seen a red Ferrari in Salford for our training. You even had a private number plate, Ted, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Did you not? No, I thought you did.
I'd actually been away to Miami before that summer, before I joined United, before I knew I was joining United, and rented 2 Ferraris for me and my mates to drive around in Miami for a couple of days, and loved it so much that when I got back, I thought, I'm going to get a Ferrari. And if you're going to get a Ferrari, you've got to get a red Ferrari. And then the move came about that I was going to United. And it was like, oh, am I going to turn up like that in a red Ferrari? And it did raise a few eyebrows, especially the way Sir Alex kept these boys under wraps. But it changed the scenario, I think, in that car park after that. There was a few more Ferraris over the next couple of years, I know that.
Scholesy and Butty wanted to key it, and Bex wanted to buy it.
It wouldn't have surprised me if Butty did
down the side
at some stage. Yeah.
How did you find that first season, Teddy? Because there were grumblings and there's criticism, and there's always not Eric Cantona.
Yeah, it's funny. The first season, I said I left Tottenham because I want to win things, and we didn't win anything. But when you analyse our season, it wasn't so bad for the first 6 months. And then when we got to the crucial part in, I think it was around early February, we had a relatively small squad at the time. Keane had already done his knee, so he was out. Then Peter Schmeichel got a back injury. Giggsy had a hamstring injury, and I think Gary Pallister had an injury as well. And that was 4 of our big players all at the same time. And then there was a lot rested on the senior players' shoulders at that time. And I was a new boy to Old Trafford. And I suppose I got the brunt of it there I think we lost to Arsenal at home and got knocked out of the Champions League against Monaco. And it all kind of happened around that period. But up until then, things were going rosy. We were top of the league, and our team were doing well. But the way I see it, my performances probably weren't as good as what they could have been around that time, and the whole form of the team dipped around that crucial period.
And is your confidence affected? Is it a difficult time, or were you generally knew things are going okay here?
I think your confidence is affected. You're going to Man United because they win things. They're proven winners, and they want to win more things. That's what the manager had instilled in the club and the players, and that's what was expected of you. So for me to go there after saying that I want to go there and win things, and then coming out with nothing, it was a big knock to the confidence. Yeah.
And how do you dig yourself out of that when you have a low ebb?
Well, you go back into pre-season the next year hoping to do even better.
Okay.
From my point of view, with the view of Dwight York coming in, I knew my place was going to be under question. But at the same time, I'd signed a 3-year deal with Manchester United, and I wasn't about to throw my toys out the pram and say, that's it, I want to leave. I know York is going to be playing, I want to go. I'd gone up there because I wanted to prove myself as a top player and play for the greatest club in the country, if not the world. So I wanted to continue and hang in there and see if I could win my place back.